Is going on, everybody? It is Craig, and I'm back with movie number 22. We're making progress, people. This movie is Snakehead Swamp. It is, I believe it's a sci-fi original. It's definitely a made-for-TV movie. I assumed it was sci-fi, but it might have been somewhere else. But I tell you what, these movies are sort of a weird comfort for me. Like my absolute favorite genre of horror, I'm a slasher guy, absolutely. But I do have sort of a guilty pleasure for bad water creature movies. And I say water creature movies, could be anything. Could be a shark, could be an octopus, could be the alligators are pretty cool, piranhas obviously. In this case we have something called a snakehead fish, which, hey, we got some. Oh, there's the cat. He must have. He was in the room. He might have enjoyed it. He wants to talk about it. Yeah, you liked it? No. Well, you can give you a score a little bit. But so this movie, again, science. I learned I didn't know about. This fish could live 4 days on land and walk around with its kind of drag around, I guess, with its fins, as long as it stays wet. So I guess when it rains, they can come out and play, which is interesting to me. Obviously, it adds that extra layer to it. I have seen sand sharks. I have seen sharks on ground before. I don't know if I've seen another type of fish on ground. Obviously, gators, crocodiles come out too, like caimans. But this movie, genetically altered fish, including one giant one, the mother one who raised all the eggs, yada yada. Which the egg thing didn't really become a thing because they got burnt up more or less. But in this movie, you have all the usual tropes, and even more so, it kind of stole directly from one of the piranhas. At least I think it was a piranha. It stole from a movie that Elizabeth Shue was in. She was like the ranger, or the boat, whatever they call the in charge of the water. It would be a ranger, but and all of a sudden there was all this trauma going around. People are dying, and she's got to find her son because he's out with the bad crew on a boat, and bad things are happening. Very similar to that in this case. Except in this case, there's also some real predatory stuff going on too with an underage girl who, oddly enough, was the first of their group to be violently ripped apart. So, I guess go sci-fi, but it had all the normal tropes. Yes, it also had some voodoo stuff, which I don't think it needed. You probably could have done the exact same movie and completely taken out the idea of the swamp is angry and her spirit is restless and this woman who was killed or this or that. Unfortunately, this woman who was killed, unjustly back in the day, now she wants her vengeance. Well, we never saw her other than a picture, and we saw the fish. Not very well done fish, but I kid you, I tell you what, I'd take one for my horror collection, even though Snakehead Swamp isn't going to be anything I ever look to see again. It would be cool to have sort of something like that, just like it would be cool to have a real piranha from the Piranha series. Thankfully, my boy, Horror Man Cave, did make me a replica of one, which is badass. Keep an eye out for the toys, eventually it'll pop up. As far as the rating goes, this is... Well, actually, no, I will tell you, one great thing I enjoyed is they had the trope of the asshole character who wants to sacrifice somebody else for their own good, and he did that. Even though the door that he was blocking was a thin wooden door and the fish has shown it could come through walls. But that's fine. Plot consistency isn't a thing for sci-fi. But when he was blocking the door, not letting the girl out, waiting for her to be killed, she took a knife and stabbed it through the side of the door and got him good. So that's the first time I think I saw the asshole get a little bit of comeuppance, even though, she died. And then he ultimately died. This plays out exactly as you think it would. It was a little bit weird when there was the soon-to-be divorced husband showed up on the picture, and he was just very matter-of-fact about his knowledge of biology. You always need that deus ex machina character. Not that he did much to help the killing of them, strategy-wise, but he protected his wife, attacked one with a cleaver, and then you saw her sort of looking at him differently, so you just knew, well, if he lives, they're getting back together, and they did. And then the guy, main character, was just at the wedding of an ex he loved, and then one of his friends who was in a relationship she didn't like, you could tell liked him, he liked her. It was a whole kerfuffle. And, all of a sudden, when her boyfriend, the dickhead, gets killed, because it's always, boyfriend's always a dickhead, then they get together. There was no mourning of the fact that he was ripped to shreds or that two of the other friends were dead. It's just like, we're together. But I was saying with the ratings, my system, I'm sure you're familiar with it now. Those of you who are watching, 5 is a movie I don't regret watching, and I won't, and I might watch again. I got to change it for these sci-fi type movies. I don't regret watching it, but I'm definitely not going to watch it again. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 10. Also, because I've had a lot of other movies in the 5 range, just because they've been okay, but nothing wow as of late. And I can't water them down by giving this a 5. So I will give it a 4, though. Even though it probably deserves a little bit less than that. But I said what I said, and I'll stick with it. That said, folks, as always, thanks for watching these videos. I appreciate it. Again, if you have a suggestion for something, feel free to let me know in the comment. Till we meet again, have a good one. Peace.